My name is Whitney George. I'm the artistic director and conductor of the Curiosity Cabinet. I also happen to have written tonight's piece, The Strange Library. Let's see. At this moment, I would like to kindly ask you to turn off your cell phones. We're recording tonight's event, and while your cell phones make all sorts of cool noises, it would be awesome not to have them on the recording. The evening will be presented in 3 sections. Each is about 20 minutes long, so the running time is about an hour. So we'll take a very brief intermission so that the story doesn't get too elongated. So we'll present the first 8 chapters first. Thank you very much.
The library was even more hushed than usual. My leather shoes clacked against the gray linoleum. Their hard, dry sound was unlike my normal footsteps. Every time I get a new pair of shoes, it takes me a while to get used to their noise. A woman I'd never seen before was sitting at the circulation desk reading a thick book. It was extraordinarily wide. She looked as if she were reading the right-hand page with her right eye, and the left page with her left. "Excuse me," I said. She slammed the book down on her desk and peered up at me. "I came to return these," I said, placing the books I was carrying on the counter. One was titled, How to Build a Submarine. The other, Memoirs of a Shepherd. The librarian flipped their front covers back to check the due date. They weren't overdue. I'm always on time, and I never hand things in late. That's the way my mother taught me. Shepherds are the same. If they don't stick to their schedule, the sheep go completely bananas. The librarian stamped returned on the card with a flourish and resumed her reading. "I'm looking for some books too," I said. "Turn right at the bottom of the stairs," she replied without looking up. "Go straight down the corridor to room 107. I descended a long flight of stairs, turned right, and walked along a gloomy corridor until, sure enough, I came to a door marked 107. I visited the library a lot, but the fact that it had a basement was news to me. I knocked. It was just a normal everyday knock, yet it sounded as if someone had whacked the gates of hell with a baseball bat. It echoed ominously in the corridor. I turned to run, but I didn't actually take a step, even though I wanted to. That wasn't how I was raised. My mother taught me that if you knock on a door, you have to wait until someone answers. "Come in," said a voice from inside. It was a low but penetrating. I opened the door. A little old man sat behind a little oak desk in the middle of the room. Tiny black spots dotted his face like a swarm of flies. The old man was bald and wore glasses with thick lenses. His baldness looked incomplete. He had frizzy white hairs plastered against both sides of his head. It looked like a mountain after a big forest fire. "Welcome, my boy," said the old man. "How may I be of assistance?" "I was looking for some books," I said timidly. "But I can see that you're busy. I'll come back some other time." "Nonsense, my boy," the old man replied. "This is my profession. I am never too busy. Tell me the matter of books that you seek, and I will strive to locate their whereabouts." What a funny way of talking, I thought. And his face was every bit as strange. A few long hairs sprouted from his ears, skin dangled beneath his chin like a punctured balloon. "And what exactly might you be seeking, my young friend?" "I want to learn how taxes were collected in the Ottoman Empire," I said. The old man's eyes glittered. "Ah, I see. Tax collection in the Ottoman Empire. A fascinating subject if there ever was one. This made me squirm. To tell the truth, I wasn't at all eager to learn about Ottoman tax collection. The topic had just popped into my head on my way home from school. As in, I wondered, how did the Ottomans collect taxes? Like that. And ever since I was little, my mother had told me, if you don't know something, go to the library and look it up. Please don't bother, I said. It's really not that important. It's pretty academic after all. I just wanted to get out of that creepy room as quickly as possible.
Don't trifle with me, the old man snapped. We possess a number of volumes that deal with tax collection in the Ottoman Empire. Did you come here with the intention of having sport with this library?
Was that your aim? No, sir, I sputtered. That was not my intention at all. I wasn't trying to make fun of anyone.
Then wait here for me like a good boy.
Yes, sir, I replied. The old man lurched from his chair, backpedaled. He made his way to the steel door at the rear of the room, opened it, and disappeared. I stood there for 10 minutes, waiting for his return. Some tiny black bugs were scratching about on the underside of the lampshade. At long last, the old man returned, carrying 3 fat books. They were all terribly old. The smell of ancient paper rose in the air.
Feast your eyes on these, the old man said, gloating. We have the Ottoman tax empire system, the diary of an Ottoman tax collector, and tax revolts and the suppression of the Ottoman Turkish Empire. An impressive collection, I must admit.
Thank you very much, I said politely. I picked up the books and headed for the door.
Those your horses,
The old man called out to my back.
Those 3 books have to be read here. Under no circumstances may they leave these premises.
Sure enough, each of the books had a red label for internal use only stuck to its spine.
To read them, you must use the inner room, the old man said.
I glanced at my watch. It was 5:20. But the library's about to close, and my mother will be worried if I'm not home in time for dinner. The old man's bushy eyebrows drew close together in a single time.
Closing time is not a concern, he frowned. They do what I tell them. If I say it's all right, then it's all right.
The real question is, do you value my assistance or not? Why do you think I lug these 3 heavy books up here? For my health? I beg your pardon, I apologized. I never intended to be such a bother. I had no idea the books couldn't be taken out. The old man gave a rumbling cough and spat out a gob of something into a tissue. The black speckles on his face were dancing with rage.
It doesn't matter what you did or didn't know,
He snarled.
When I was your age, I felt fortunate just to have the chance to read. And here you are whining about the time and being late for dinner. What nerve!
All right, I'll stay and read, I said. But just for 30 minutes. I'm not very good at giving anyone a clear no. But I really can't can't stay any longer than that. When I was very small, I was bitten by a big black dog on my way home from school, and ever since then my mother starts acting a bit strange if I'm even a little bit late.
The old man's face relaxed slightly. So you'll stay and read?
Yes, but only for 30 minutes.
Then please step right this way, the old man beckoned.
Beyond the inner door, a shadowy corridor lit by a single flickering bulb. We stepped into the dying light.
Just follow me, said the old man.
We had gone only a short distance when we came to a fork in the corridor. The old man turned right. A little farther on was another fork. This time he tore left. The corridor forked and forked again, branching off repeatedly. And in every case, the old man chose our route. Without a moment's hesitation, swerving first to the right, then to the left. Sometimes he would open the door. We would enter a completely different corridor. My mind was in turmoil. It was too weird. How could our city library have such an enormous labyrinth in its basement? I mean, public libraries like this are always short and cheap, so building even the tiniest of labyrinths has to be beyond their means. I considered asking the old man about this, but I feared that he'd shout at me again. Finally, the maze came to an end at a large steel door. Hanging on the door was a sign that said, "Reading Room." The whole area was as quiet as a graveyard in the dead of night. The old man extracted a jangling key ring of keys from his pocket and chose a big old-fashioned one. He inserted it into the keyhole, shot me a brief but meaningful glance, and turned it to the right. There was a loud plunk as the bolt fell into place. The door swung open with a long and nasty screech.
Well, here we are, said the old man. In you go.
In there? I asked.
That's the idea.
But it's pitch black, I protested. Indeed. Inside the door was dark as if a hole had been pierced by the cosmos. The old man turned to me and drew himself up to his full height. Now suddenly he was big. The eyes beneath the bushy eyebrows flashed like a goat's eyes at twilight.
Are you the sort of boy who finds fault with every little thing, however trivial?
No, sir. I'm not like that at all. But it seems to me that...
Enough of your prattle,
the old man said.
I cannot abide people who conjure up a raft of excuses disparaging the efforts of those who have gone out of their way to help them. Such people are common trash.
Please forgive me, I apologized. I'll go in. Why do I act like this? Agreeing when I really disagree. Letting people force me to do things I don't want to do.
There's a tiny staircase right on the other side of this door, the old man said. Hold tight to the railing so you do not take a tumble.
I went in, first inching my way along. When the old man closed the door behind us, all went completely dark. I could hear the click as he turned the lock. Why did you lock the door?
Those are the rules. It must stay locked at all times.
What could I do? I began my descent. It was a very long staircase, long enough it seemed to reach Brazil. The handrail was flaky with rust, not a ray of sunlight anywhere. Finally, we reached the bottom of the staircase. I could see a glimmer farther in, just a feeble glow really, but still strong enough to make my eyes hurt after the long darkness. Someone approached me from the back of the room and took my hand. A small man, clad in the skin of a sheep. Hey, well, thanks for coming, the sheep man said. Good afternoon, I replied. It was a real sheepskin, and it covered every inch of the sheepman's body. There was an opening for the face, however, through which peeped a friendly pair of eyes. The costume suited him well. The sheepman looked at me for a moment. Then his eyes shifted to the 3 books in my hand.
Oh, holy moly! You came here to read? For real?
That's right, I answered.
You mean you really and truly came here to read those books?
There was something strange about the sheepman's way of speaking. I found myself at a loss for words.
Come on out with it, the old man demanded. You came here to read. Is that not a fact? Give him the straight answer.
Yes, I came here to read.
You heard him,
The old man crowed.
But sir,
said the sheepman.
he's only a kid.
Silence! Thundered the old man. He drew a willow switch from his back pocket and whipped the sheepman across the face.
Take him to the reading room now.
The sheepman looked troubled, but he took my hand anyway. The switch had left a red welt next to his lip.
Okay, let's get going.
Where?
To the reading room. You came to read those books, didn't you?
The sheepman led me down a narrow hallway. The old man followed close behind us. There was a short tail attached to the back of the sheepman's outfit that bounced from side to side with each step like a pendulum.
Well,
Said the sheepman when we reached the end of the hallway.
but here we are.
Just a minute, Mr. Sheepman, I said. Is this by any chance a jail cell?
Sure is.
He replied.